Hey y'all, it's me, Lisa, and welcome to my channel, She Raven. It's been a minute. It's so hard for me sometimes to um, just be a mom and do mom life and all those kind of crazy things and, find a happy medium between doing all that and actually putting enough content out there. So I'm still working on it. This is October, so it's spooky season, and I'm still with it. I know I've been kind of falling behind. I've had a crazy, crazy October. I actually got sick for a whole week. The kids were out of school for the first week of October. Their school district allows them to have the first week off. That's something new, this particular school district that I'm new to. So that was fun though, but I was sick for about 4 days of that. And I've actually been sick a couple of times, which is kind of crazy because I've been sick 3 times since August, about, the start of school. So, it is what it is. I've burnt myself really, really, really bad third degree burn. Um, it's going to leave a terrible scar. So, just whatever. But I am going to finish spooky season strong. I'm really big into pen paling. So I've sent about 30 pen pal cards and I'm starting to receive some trickling in at the end of October because the ones that I did send were a little bit later. I was waiting until October 1st. I kept telling myself I'm going to wait till the 1st and then I'm going to hit it strong. So I've gotten 30 out so far. And unless someone just trickles in, those are the 30 that I'm going to send. I thought I would have more, but I don't have more. No big deal. I'm not going to, sweat it. 30's a lot. So yeah, I do that. That's like one of my big hobbies is pen paling. And I've sent those out. And like I said, I've got some trickling in. So that's pretty cool because, all the spooky cards and stuff like that. It's just always really fun. I just love it. So this podcast today, oh, let me not forget to tell you to like and subscribe. That helps a whole lot. Just like and subscribe. I'm trying to build the channel and it's just slowly creeping up there. But I know that's how it is. I mean, I guess unless you have a lot of money or just a ton of friends or something like that, I expect it to just slowly creep on up. And I just like doing it as a hobby. I mean, I enjoy doing it, so no big deal. I already have it nice and dark in here. So that's probably why the lighting is kind of off. I have it dark, but I also have my window open. I probably should have closed the window. Oh well. Um, I also bought myself a little camcorder, but I didn't like the camcorder because I didn't have this full view of myself. So I'll still mess around with it a little bit more, but for now I'm just going to use the computer again. I noticed that I didn't like the pixels on the pictures that are coming through the computer. So I'm just going to have to mess around with a whole bunch of things. And sorry if you can hear my earrings. They're kind of fairy-like. They're just making little teeny noises. But today's podcast, because like I said, I'm going to try to finish out spooky season strong. Um, I'm going to do this podcast in little sections, little tiny story sections. But this right here is going to be the true story of Annabelle, the real Annabelle. Now if you've seen the Conjuring series, you know that Annabelle's this like beautiful, I think she's porcelain or she might be wooden doll, and she's gorgeous. But the actual story behind Annabelle was a Raggedy Ann doll, very similar to the one that I have right now. And this one right here, I think this is a little bit vintage. And the reason I say that is because her eyes are stitched in there, and her mouth is stitched, and her nose is stitched. Some of the newer ones, they actually have it like painted on. And I think some of the vintage ones, they might have it painted on. I'm not 100% sure, but I used to have a ton of these, different eras, I'll say it that way, because I love dolls. So I've gotten rid of a lot of them, and not really rid, but just actually sold them. This one right here, I just love her. I mean, she's just got her little dress on. And I can actually tell, let's see if she has a tag. Nope, this one doesn't have a tag. Okay, but I can tell. When you get into the doll world, you start knowing your product. And I can tell that this one is vintage. What year? I'd have to really pay attention more. Also, her hair is just fabulous, just absolutely fabulous. It's that yarn hair. I'm not sure if it's showing that it's looking more orange, because for me it's looking more orange in the computer, but it's actually bright red. It's just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I love dolls. I absolutely adore dolls. But anyways, so the real story about Annabelle. So go ahead, get yourself a drink, get comfortable, just kind of chill out, and I'll go ahead and I'll tell you that. So remember, the Annabelle, the actual Annabelle that is at the Occult Museum of Ed and Lorraine Warren, which, they've passed away, so rest their soul, is Raggedy Ann. That's the Annabelle, not the Annabelle that we see in the movies. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put her down. Um, yeah, I just love dolls. I really just love admiring them and things of that nature. I'll probably end up selling her because most of my dolls, I'm just kind of liquidating them out. There's just no room. There's no room for all of that, even though I love them. And it's funny because I say there's no room, but I continue to always buy them. So there's no room, but ask me, did I have that doll like a couple months ago? And I'll say no. I saw her and I had to rescue her. So I don't necessarily sell them. I rehome them. So I find them and they sort of call out to me, and I just have to find them another home. I bring them in, and sometimes I'll do a little bit of cleanup work on them depending on what needs to be done. And then I list them up for sale, and other collectors, they see them and they fall in love with them and they want to add them to their collection. So she'll find another home. She's a timeless classic. I mean, Raggedy Ann. If I had a little kid, I would definitely just keep her for that child. So, like I said, I've got the lights out low. Please like and subscribe, and let's go ahead and talk about Annabelle. We're going to do this one in a couple of sections. So I'm going to do the first section, and then I'll stop, and then I'll just continue to do it just so I could, like I said, finish out strong for spooky season, because you wait all year for spooky season and then you get sick and then you burn the heck out of yourself. Not fair, but that's life. Annabelle, the real life demonic doll. The real Annabelle doll is actually locked in a box at Lorraine Warren's home, Ed and Lorraine Warren, like I was saying before, as part of her occult museum. Ed and Lorraine were the pair that worked on this case. So they were the pair that, worked on it, and then they ended up having the doll. The real life doll that inspired the Annabelle movies is a Raggedy Ann doll. With its bright red thick hair, stitched features, triangular nose, and beautiful smile, the doll of our childhoods. Just a timeless classic. Heck, she's still a classic for today's children and even adult collectors. Like I was telling you, she's gorgeous. I mean, she's classic. So Ed and Lorraine Warren's museum has the original doll, and they have it locked away in a case, and you cannot open the case and stuff like that. But that's where the doll, Annabelle, the real Annabelle, is actually. So like I said, they passed away. Ed passed away in 2006 and Lorraine in 2019. But I would assume we've all heard of them, but they were phenomenal husband and wife team. They worked on many hauntings, paranormal cases, things like that. Ed was a demonologist. Lorraine was a clairvoyant, and they just worked together. So I think most people that are into this kind of thing, spooky stories and all of that, we all know who Ed and Lorraine Warren were. So this case goes back to the 1970s, and this original demonic doll has been blamed for all kinds of violent activity and near-death experiences spanning about 30 years. In 1970, Annabelle was a brand new toy and gifted to a young nurse as a 28th birthday present. The doll would just hang around the apartment that she shared with her roommate, which was another woman. After a while, the women began to notice the doll would be found in different spots than where they actually left it. So, they'd put it, just like a decoration, a beautiful decoration. They'd put it on the couch when they left, or leave it on the couch, and they'd come home and the doll would be in the bedroom, or just be wherever throughout the home. And after a while, they started noticing and they started thinking, that's weird. Didn't we leave this doll elsewhere? So, yeah. After a while, the women started finding notes throughout the apartment, notes on parchment paper that said, "Help me." So they've started noticing that something's up with the doll, or something's a little bit off, that the doll's in different locations, and now they're finding these notes. And they didn't write these notes, and they didn't even actually have parchment paper in their apartment. One day, one of the woman's boyfriend, was staying at the apartment, and he heard noises coming from the bedroom. So he heard noises, distinctive noises, like someone was actually in the room. So not just like something has fallen, or just a little ruffle, something like that. Maybe something that we all sometimes hear. I know for myself, sometimes I'll hear something in a room and I'll just attribute it to, oh, something must have fallen in the closet, or something must have fallen off a wall. And a lot of times I don't even get up and look. I'm just lazy. I don't even get up and look. But he heard something more than that, something that made him think someone is actually in the house. I have to actually get up and go take a look and see what's going on. So he thought someone was actually in the room that he heard these noises coming from. So he knew that he was alone, so he went in the room to investigate, and he found nobody. He found the doll, the Raggedy Ann doll, face down on the floor. And suddenly he felt this extreme pain coming from his chest. And when he lifted up his shirt to look, he saw that he had claw marks across his chest. So, yeah. He pulled his shirt and there were claw marks on his chest. And a few days later, these claw marks disappeared. Okay. So, obviously everybody's freaked out at this point. They realize that something is actually going on. Something is literally happening here. So with the doll moving locations, the mysterious notes, the noise coming from the room, the claw marks on the boyfriend, they decided to hire a medium. And this medium did a seance. And the medium told them that the doll was harmless, and the doll had the spirit of a deceased 7-year-old named Annabelle Higgs, and her body had been found on the site where the apartment complex was later built. And she just wanted to stay in the doll. She just wanted to be loved and cared for and live in this particular doll. So these are young women, and they thought, oh my God, as girls, and they thought, okay, well, that's fine. At least we know what's going on. So they agreed to allow the spirit to take up residence in the doll. So they basically said, oh, this is fine. You can live in this doll, and we're okay with that. So of course, nothing is that easy. It may seem that easy, but it's not that easy. And they continue to have paranormal experiences, and they continue to have negative paranormal experiences, because at this point you would think, okay, well, they have a spirit of a young 7-year-old living in the doll, they're going to be okay with that. And the little mischievous things that are happening, they're going to understand that. But when they continue to have negative experiences, at this point they decided that we need to find out what's going on here. We need to call a priest. And the priest that they called ended up getting them in touch with Ed and Lorraine. So when the Warrens came on the case, the whole story changed. I mean, they knew immediately that this was not a spirit. I mean, this is what they do for a living. They knew immediately that this was not a harmless spirit. They knew immediately that it was more like a demonic type possession thing. And they knew that based on the fact that this doll was moving locations, the notes that were found, the marks that were on the boyfriend's chest. And the Warrens actually told these young women that spirits don't possess inanimate objects like toys. They don't possess inanimate objects like toys. Spirits possess people. And they explained to them that the spirit will attach itself to the object to become like noticed. And once it's noticed, then its main objective is to actually possess the person. So that's what was happening with the doll. So some sort of way prior to receiving this doll as a gift, this doll was possessed. And it makes me wonder, actually, because I didn't find any information about that. I wonder what happened prior to that. So it just kind of, puts my little thinking cap on. Thinking cap. I laugh at myself sometimes. But basically what the Warrens had done was they had the priest come and do an exorcism on the apartment, and they took the doll with them. So that's how they became in possession of the doll. But as they're taking the doll with them, you'll see there's a little bit more to the story. But we're going to stop right there. Like I said, I'm going to do a couple of smaller segments on Annabelle, and I'm just going to do them throughout this week just so I can, come in and do my spooky season stuff. So we're going to stop. So this is the first section of the Annabelle doll. This is the first section. And it's, for some reason, as I was researching and as I was writing and everything, it just reminded me of Chucky. I'm not sure why it reminded me of Chucky, but it reminded me of Chucky because I thought to myself, Chucky is this doll that's possessed, and, it's basically the same exact formula it follows, and it really wants to possess, the little boy and stuff like that. So it just reminded me of that. But it's a really interesting story, and like I said, it is a true story, and they do have this doll, and they have passed away, like I said. But they do have possession of this doll. So whoever is taking over their estate, I think it's like, yeah, I'm not going to even speculate. I think I know, but I'm not going to speculate on that. So this is the first section. So we'll find out as they take this doll, we'll find out what happens next. So we know that they have possession of it, but we'll find out the next portion. So join me for the next portion of that, and I'll see you guys later. Don't forget, please like and subscribe. And I'm so sorry if you can hear my little chihuahua's nails on the floor. She's just running all over the place, and she pushed the door open. Yeah, of all days, she pushes the door open today because she can hear me and her talking, and she's like, Mama, what are you doing? What are you saying? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to follow up with the second portion, and like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.